I call that clumping. I call that clumping. Okay, it's where you clump together with your little friends, and that's like kind of a clicky thing, and then nobody else, TikTok, the game is locked and nobody else can play. Whatever you do, we'll take a shoe and knock you black and blue. Alright, so we're going to have a no clumping rule. You didn't even know I had these hidden talents, Dean. All right, so
I do have that on video.
That's still on YouTube. That's on YouTube.
Oh, goodness. Okay, anyway, so no clumping, and we're gonna bring up the clumper. We're gonna have this other thing do what?
We're going to talk about a follow-up template that works. Angela and I follow up almost every contact that we make. And why do we do that?
I think it's important to actually have people remember. I do it, I have trouble with remembering names. And for me, if I can send out an email after or send a thank you, hey, great to meet you, I can associate better the name with the face, with the person. It also helps them remember me. And it gives a personal touch. Like I said, for me, it's more about making those personal connections.
Names are very important. We kind of went over that, or we didn't even really cover that. Angela's wearing her name badge. I've always got my name on my shirt. Every work shirt I have has a name on it. Maybe 2 or 3, but I hardly ever wear them. Because I want people to know who I am. I want you to feel comfortable enough because you remember my name. And I'm going to work very hard remembering yours. So when we follow up, like she said, I get a couple cards. I go home or go to the office. I send out an email. Hey, it was great to meet you. Or a lot of times what I'll do is even send a card. Just a generic blank card. Hey, it was great to meet you at the after hours. Try to tie in something, some sort of a tidbit from the conversation you had. Or tell them you look forward to seeing them again, or something like that. I know, Angela, you do more emails than...
I do a lot of emails. I think it's just easy for people. For me, it's the easiest way to contact people back and forth. I also will make, sometimes if I meet someone that I haven't met before, I know I'm going to follow up if it's someone that's important to my business. I will make a note on the back of the card so that I'll remember that personal information or something that we talked about, and I'll try to put it back in the email. And then it helps them remember as well who I was at the event.
Yeah, always have a pen with you. That way you can write on the card or make a note.
I have a question. So, chamber is on Thursday. So, what time frame should you follow up? I mean, like the day after, 2 days after, 2 weeks?
I always do mine the next day.
I try to do the next day, or it might be the next week, but
it's a short.
It's a short window. I want to make sure they remember.
Like a week, you would say?
48 hours.
yeah, I mean, as quick as you can. I mean, I've got some that have been several days later. They're not going to go, oh, why did they send it to me now? You send out a card or an email, they're going to go, oh, that was cool of them to think about me.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to say, to answer your question, it depends on how strong of a connection you make at the event.
Right.
If that's the only person that you talk to that night, if it's 72 hours or even next week when you get back to them, they'll remember who you are. If it was a short conversation where you feel like you need to reach out, then the sooner the better.
I prioritize mine too. I'll put you in the order I want to respond to because I might not be able to do them all right now.
I also, depending on the conversation, I always let them know. I'll call you within the next few weeks. I'll send you an email next week. And if it's a really large organization or a large network, I tend to wait a little bit because everybody there is already sending them emails. So I want to be the one that stands out a little bit more. So I always say, I'll send you an email next week and I'll follow up with you. And then they'll remember.
That follow-up is great when people do it. Because I get a lot of people that say they're going to follow up. And that's another big thing about networking, is that you just need to make sure that you do have that follow through. And if you tell someone you're going to do something, just do it. I mean, it's very easy to do, and it means a lot. It gives a big impression to people.
Because of knowing a lot of people, my main thing is to go up to Maureen and say, Maureen, who do you need to know here tonight? Who do you need to meet? If I can make that introduction, I've done that several times.